When we're talking about fintech and technology, it's a very, very big subject. So I'm going to try to focus on one point that I'd like to make when it comes to Islamic finance. One of the main objectives of what's happening with the fourth industrial revolution and all those technologies that's changing the world. And actually it's sad because if you see what's happening in most of our Muslim countries, we're so busy with a lot of conflicts and issues that we are missing, that we are in the midst of one of the most important revolutions that's happening actually, and we're not taking part in that. Islamic finance since the 70s and since the introduction has been copying the conventional finance, and there really hasn't been a lot of innovations in Islamic finance that is causing a lot of people to question the value of Islamic finance and the differentiator. If we look at the penetration of Islamic finance in Indonesia, we'll find that it actually a very low percentage, they call it the sleeping giant, being the largest Islamic population. We're always very disappointed how low the percentage of the penetration of Islamic finance in Indonesia. And I believe I contribute a lot of that because of education and because of the lack of innovation in Islamic finance and the lack of differentiation from the conventional finance. And that when it comes to technology, one of the main objectives of the new financial industry revolution is actually the financial inclusion. If you look at the Muslim population, over 85% of the Muslims are unbanked and they do not participate in the financial eco market or ecosystem around the world. And we have probably some of the poorest people around the world, and we can take the fintechs and this revolution to actually bring many of those people into the financial system. But to bring them into the Islamic financial system, we need innovators, and we need people who actually innovate on the technology, on the systems, and on the products and the instruments. I go around the world where Suriname was mentioned. Actually, our systems are used by Trust Bank in Suriname. So we're covering from South America all the way to Malaysia, and I go around the world. I was just yesterday in Sarajevo, and it's amazing when I look at the Muslim world and the kind of skills and resources we have, and I hope that we actually can focus on this revolution and we can take advantage of what's happening in the technology. We have a problem in innovation in many of the countries because of regulators. I mean, that's very controversial, but it's actually true. A lot of our regulators in the Islamic world are protecting the banking and the financial system. And if you look at Europe and England, you'll see things like the directive PSD2 in the EU. You see the open banking in England, where the governments are forcing the banks to actually open up their APIs and allowing those young fintechs to participate into the financial system. Where basically in most of our countries, you really don't see many of the regulators allowing this freedom. So basically for the fintech revolution to happen, we really need the regulators to be more flexible and more open. They have to be educated in what's happening in the world. I really look at Indonesia, and I have been watching Indonesia for a long time. I'm very hopeful that Indonesia can play the leadership role that it has based on the population, the Islamic population that it has. I believe there's a huge potential in this country. I believe there is an amazing place for it to play in the Islamic financial ecosystem, and hopefully the regulators and the banking sector allow the innovation in the fintech, and we can actually capitalize on this revolution. I hope that we will do much better than what we have done in the last 50 years or so, and we differentiate the Islamic financial ecosystem from the conventional ecosystem in this new fintech, what we call fintech, and fourth industrial revolution. Thank you very much.